Hello, students. Let us today look into the career opportunities for mechanical engineering graduates. I am Professor Suresh Mane, working at Girija Sale Institute of Technology in Karwar, Karnataka. Well, as you are all aware, engineering is a very fascinating field. Apart from nature, is created by God. Rest all the things which you can see are created by man. The building in you which you stay, the roads, the bridges, they are all built by civil engineers. All the machines, the moving things, your automobiles, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, trucks, buses, trains, aeroplanes, they are all built by mechanical engineers. There is something called electronics engineering, your mobile phones, televisions, everything comes under the domain of electronics and communication engineering. Similarly, there is computer science. Of late, a lot of importance is being garnered by computer science because the software industry is growing exponentially. Nowadays, the new mantra is Internet of Things, blockchain technology, big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, automation, and all these things basically involve computer science as well as electronics. But please understand, earlier days, when the engineering was started, it was only civil engineering. And the next was only military engineering. So civil use whatever we used to do, that is called civil engineering. Rest was all military engineering. But then another two were added, that is mechanical engineering and electrical engineering, because electricity came to India somewhere in 1902 in Mysore. So then you had three branches, that is mechanical engineering, civil engineering and electrical engineering. These are called as the core engineering branches. But of late you see lot of developments have taken place in the field of engineering. Take the case of your bike, motorcycle only. In the motorcycle, you will find that earlier motorcycles were kickstart motorcycles. Okay, that was mechanical. Then even the cars, they had handles in the front and they used to rotate the handle and the cars used to start. So it was purely a mechanical concept of transport. But, or even the steam locomotives, if you see in some old movies, you can see the coal is being fed and the steam locomotive is moving. But with the advancement of technology, now the thing of interdisciplinary engineering started. Now in your bikes, instead of kick starting, you have got something called push button, and you have an electrical motor which does the work of the kick what is being done, and you can start your bike or car using a self starter. So this is how in mechanical engineering there was a embedding of electrical engineering. But lately, if you see, you can find that your bikes and cars, they have got like something called fuel injection and ECU, engine control unit. So you have some sensors, various sensors, and they determine the best efficient way of tuning the engine at all times. Okay, so then electronics came into picture, and to coordinate all these things, you can find that the softwares are required. I am told in a normal car which we use nowadays, almost 2 to 3 crore lines of code is involved, software code is involved for optimizing the car performance. Not aware to common man, But now you can see that the car, humble car, we started with mechanical engineering, then electrical engineering came into picture, then electronics engineering, then computers, and now, if I am correct, people are talking of autonomous cars, self-driving cars. So they have even more advanced features, and this is how technology is evolving. So this was just to convey that engineering is a very fascinating field. Whatever the comforts, healthcare we find in our day-to-day use is all created, designed by human engineers. Now, I'd like to name some people. Say there are 6 people like Satish Dhawan of ISRO, Varghese Kurian of Amul, Mr. Anil Kumble from cricket, Mr. Ericsson Jackson from NASA, Nitish Tiwari, the producer of Dangal, and Arvind Kejriwal. I think you have heard of some 3 to 4 names in this, if not all. Do you know what is common among them? Please write in the chat box. Can anyone tell me what is common among them? Believe me, they are all mechanical engineers. So mechanical engineering does not mean dealing with pure core mechanical engineering. You can see that Satish Dhawan, the pioneer in ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. Mr. Varghese Kurian started a movement called Amul. It is one of the world's largest cooperative movements in Gujarat, where lakhs of people from deprived background and into this animal husbandry, they bring milk, and the milk comes out in various forms. So today Amul supplies milk and milk products all over India, pan India, and I think it is even exported. Mr. Anil Kumble was a great spinner in Indian cricket team. Mr. Ericsson Jackson is working with the NASA USA, and I think we all enjoyed the movie called Dangal. This is also Mr. Nitish Tiwari, who is a IITian basically, and our Delhi Chief Minister Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. I think you can see how the mechanical engineer is playing a role. So engineering is not confined only to core domain, but you can pick up allied domain and even rise to these heights. Now, the conventional opportunities for mechanical engineers, just jotted down something alphabetically. You have aerospace, then you have automotive engineering, then automation, especially manufacturing sector, then autonomous systems, as I was talking about autonomous cars, banking. In banks also you require a lot of engineers who do the technical work, basically evaluating for insurance, for claims, okay, risk assessment. Engineers are there. Even I am told 85% of the people joining banking sector today are engineers, as probationary officers, as clerical staff, because banking is one of the largest employers. Then you have composite materials, like all lightweight materials, composites, which are coming in, like you can find there are 3 types of composites, basically polymer matrix composites, then metal matrix composites, which are used in aircraft industry, as well as ceramic matrix composites. So composites are one of the new emerging field, and traditionally engineers are involved in CAD and CAM, that is computer aided design, computer aided machining. We are also into control systems, then design. The 3 main streams of mechanical engineering is design, manufacturing, and thermal engineering. So design is one of the aspects. Then you have defense applications. I think a lot of mechanical engineers are working in defense, be it Army, Navy, and Air Force. And you have got a direct recruitment called a SSB, Service Selection Board, where graduate engineers are hired into officer cadre. Then education. I think education can be the 10th education or uh, 11th and 12th, which is very commercial nowadays. And then higher education, be it polytechnic, engineering, undergraduate engineering programs and all. Then energy, I think energy sector, whether it is oil and gas, thermal engineering, nuclear energy, is a big field. Energy audits is gaining popularity. Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is something that you do on your own. You start your own startup, you start your own industry. This is known as entrepreneurship. But for this, I think you need to have some experience of 1 or 2 years working in real life conditions, apart from the theoretical and academic background you will have. Then nowadays, this Amazon, Flipkart, Mantra, all this e-retail, finance, again insurance and finance, where evaluation is done by engineers. Then HVAC, that is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. This is a big field, and you name everything today, right from your restaurant, your theaters, uh, homes, banks, ATMs, everywhere ACs are being installed, offices. Human health, a lot of gadgets are being made for improving human health, whether it's scanning, CT scanning, MRI scanning. Then infrastructure, in collaboration with civil engineers. Industrial automation, marine engineering. I think many people from the coastal belt, especially from Kerala, uh, Goa, they are working in the marine engineering field, be it cargo ships or cruise liners and all. A lot of mechanical engineers are there because a lot of systems are there, like HVAC system, then boilers, engines. So basically, mechanical engineers are in huge demand in marine engineering. Then manufacturing is our traditional field of mechanical engineers, mechanics. Then oil and gas sector, basically in the Middle East, and India also have a lot of sites for oil and gas exploration and processing. Then project managements, a lot of the projects which are coming up. Uh, I can get just one example, like Burj Khalifa, what you have seen, I think one's tallest building around 800 meters or so. And that was completed in 5 years. Can you imagine in 5 years down in the line, that such a huge project, right, is completed. So it involves the skills of project management. It has to be properly managed. Then production planning, again part of manufacturing. Then you have Indian Railways, basically transport. So Indian Railways is a huge employer of mechanical engineers. I also worked for more than 2 decades in railways. Then opted to carry out my passion in teaching. Then you have refrigeration. I think refrigeration also nowadays a huge requirement of cold storages, like storing of this agriculture produce, because as we are aware, 30 to 35% of whatever is produced in, especially in India, in the villages and all, it gets spoiled. So cold storages and all are picking up. Still, they are not very popular, but in days to come, I am sure they will also gain importance. Then you have robotics. I think you, in days to come, you will have robots which will clean your house, will clean your vessels and clothes, do all the work. They will basically replace a human man. They cannot replace, but they will assist for better quality of life. Then sales and marketing. I think this one field, what I am given to understand, these mechanical engineers are not very good at this sales and marketing. Even I am a mechanical engineer, and after almost 3 decades of my work experience, now I am like thinking on these lines of sales and marketing and uh, like orienting myself towards that. Basically, mechanical engineers are not very comfortable. But I am, after listening to so many webinars, to interacting with so many learned people, I am understanding that this field also should be explored by mechanical engineers. It's high time that mechanical engineers get into this domain. Then there is servicing is there, of course. Mechanical engineers are leading in the service industry, and software also. A lot of mechanical engineers are there in softwares. Okay, whether it's design software, analysis software, simulation softwares. So these are being made by mechanical engineers. And lastly, the structural analysis. So you can see the sky is the limit basically for mechanical engineers. So many avenues available for them. And now if you look at the roles what mechanical engineers play, when any product is designed, so the conceptual design they undertake, then the analysis uh, based on the designs, then they are into presentations and report writing, then multidisciplinary team work they do, because most of the engineering work is not done in isolation, it is basically done in teams. Okay, whether it's construction of a house or preparation of a software, all teamwork. Then concurrent engineering is there, benchmarking, so standards, to set up standards and all and evaluate them. Benchmarking is a process which is undertaken by mechanical engineers. Then project management, I think one example I have given about Burj Khalifa. Then prototyping, so when a product is produced, before that their scale models and all prototypes are made, so there also mechanical engineers are there. And testing can be like a non-destructive testing or destructive testing. Measurements, then data interpretation, data is catching up now, and the developmental of design. Research, a lot of mechanical engineers are into various research, be it on fuels, be on environmental engineering, be on IC engines. So there are various domains for research. Then analysis, like you have got something called CFD, that is computational fluid dynamics, which is very popular software, as well as ANSYS. ANSYS is taught in engineering curriculum. Sales, again I'd like to impress upon that sales is the one field where people can have tremendous growth. Conventional jobs will not give exponential growth, but the sales definitely directly proportional. The remuneration is directly proportional to the time and efforts you put in. Then consulting the engineers do, and customer service. So basically, mechanical engineers or any engineer for that matter should have some 12 graduate attributes. The attributes is something to 12 graduate attributes as defined by the Washington Accord. And all the accredited institutions, they ensure that students possess these attributes by the time they complete their degrees. And accordingly, the curriculum is designed. The university curriculum is designed so that these topics what I have spoken about, just like presentation, report writing, analysis, design, teamwork, these are all part of the 12 graduate attributes. So whatever courses are taught in the engineering, some 40 courses are taught, laboratories are there, internships are there, projects, seminars. So they all prepare a wholesome engineer who develops these skills over the period of 4 years. Now, just one small I made about KSA, that is knowledge, skills and attitude. So in the engineering education, a lot of inputs in terms of theoretical knowledge is given, which forms the basis. So the area of the triangle determines the success of a person. The larger the area, the larger the success. And in case you want to increase the area of this triangle, you need to increase your knowledge base. Then comes skills. Skills are hands-on skills. Like for example, cycling is a skill, cooking is a skill, swimming is a skill. Means what you can do. Like in engineering, lot of hands-on trainings are given. You operate machines, you test the materials. Okay, a lathe machine you operate. You undertake welding, you undertake sheet metal joining process. So lot of learning is there. You make drawings in AutoCAD. You study solid edge. So these are all skills. So you hone your skills. But by only knowledge and skill, your uh, triangle is not complete. The most important component, the side of a personality, is the attitude. Please believe me, today generation G, they are really wise. They are going to bring lot of change in the world, and all these changes are because whatever we have seen in the past 2-3 decades is because of the young people. But if you want to come up in life, you need to develop a very positive attitude. People need to be very positive and always look at the positive aspects of life, and hence I am very sure it will be a big differentiator for you as an individual, so that you can contribute in the team and come up in life. So my humble request to you, based on my uh, interactions with so many recruiters, be it software industry, core industry and all, they are basically looking for positive attitude, teamwork, so that this some shortage in skill and knowledge, they can provide the training. But attitude, changing the attitude of a person is a very difficult task. So they are always looking for a strong and positive attitude person. Now let us look at the skill sets needed. These are general skill sets, not particular to mechanical engineers. Any person who wants to be successful in life, uh, whatever domain you select, be it medicine, be it engineering, be it law, you need to have these skill sets. The first one is problem solving. In today's world or generation, due to isolated families or nuclear families, uh, the children are brought up very comfortably and they are not exposed to problems in life, and hence the skill of problem solving is lacking at times. So, but I feel that problem solving, whether it is problems of life, problems in academics, all these things, the student should be exposed. Second is lifelong learning. Knowledge is not stagnant. Today, if you look at the advancements in the world, I think knowledge is growing at a very rapid pace. Though the basics remain same, but the developments are immense. As I was telling about the automobile IC engine of a car, earlier it was purely mechanical. Then you need to have now electrical knowledge. Then subsequently electronics knowledge. Now software knowledge. So these kind of advancements are happening, and we need to be lifelong learner. Every day we should learn something. And when you go to bed in the evening, you should recall what all you have learned for the day. Then creativity. Creativity, I think, is there, definitely there. And that is those creative people come into engineering domain. Communication is one skill, which I think people from communication is not language alone. Language can be a part of communication, but communication can be verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication, and there is a lot of scope for improvement of communication. And one simple suggestion I can give you: you should not always be with your close group or friends. You have to mingle with different people from different backgrounds and then learn about them and communicate, improve your communication. Similarly, there is something called IPR skills, interpersonal relationship skills. as we are all working in teams, so we need to have good interpersonal skills and conflict management. Conflicts are bound to happen, whether it is your home, you are at college, be it with the faculty. Conflicts are there. Difference of opinion. No two people are alike on the planet. So definitely there are conflicts. So as I was telling in point number one, that is problem solving. These are similar. There will be conflicts between people, and we need to be resolving them very amicably. Then networking. Today your network defines your net worth. So the person who is well connected, definitely he grows. And growth is not only in monetary terms, it can be in intellectual terms, okay, it can be in health terms, in case social growth, emotional growth, spiritual growth. So there are many domains to growth also. Finance is one among them. Then team building, then flair for sales. As I was telling, there is a huge shortfall, skill shortfall in sales. So sales is one domain where uh, some amount of inputs need to be given. And there is something called service orientation also. Suppose we are all teachers in academics. So we are not producing anything, but we are serving. We are serving the students so that the students gain knowledge, they gain the right skills, they develop right attitudes and become responsible citizens. So we are serving the society by providing education. So education is basically service. Now, what actually the industry culture is, or what the industry is looking for? I have dealt with the mass recruiters uh, in the software industry and core industry, and some 5 points what I could jot down. Well, one thing is the long-term relationship. I have seen many of my students, engineering graduates, then graduate, they join a company, they work for 6 months, and within 6 months they understand everything about company. Basically, engineers are wise people. One thing I can tell you, they have very sharp sense. They can understand the industry within 6 months, and in the next 6 months they switch over. So basically, industries are not looking for short-term relationships. No, absolutely no. They feel hurt because there is a cost attached to attrition, and there is a time and energy requirement for recruitments. So definitely the industry is not looking for short-term relationships, say 1 year or 2 years. They're looking for a span of at least 5 years, 10 years, long-term horizon. So don't enter into some company and again switch after 6 months or 1 year. You send a very wrong signal. Then second is team orientation. Uh, so that is why before you join a company, you visit them, you have a short interaction, learn about them, then decide on to joining the company. Not that you join and within 6 months you think of leaving out. Then second is team orientation. So as I was telling, everything is teamwork. And again, coming to the example of Burj Khalifa or any multi-story building for that matter. See, there are a lot of things involved in that. Where there is a HVAC system, there is electrical system, civil work is there, firefighting is there, security systems are there. So all have to work in a team. Please understand. Very important. This glass, fitting of glass and all. So many things are there, and they have to be properly coordinated. And it is only possible if you have team orientation. You have empathy, you understand other teams also. Then basically, engineers should be very friendly with the open door approach, no hodgepodge business. Then constant learning. I think we thought seen that lifelong learning or constant learning, because industries also they can't be stagnant. What they are doing, see, before COVID, industries were different. Now this most of the companies now they have gone into this manufacturing PPE, manufacture hand sanitizer, masks, ventilators. So you have to update. So they have to learn, and performance orientation is very important. See, in academics, ultimately your parents or the friends and all, they ask only about the results. So कितना result हो गया. But here in industry, performance is very important, and that is built on a day-to-day basis and of your contribution. Now, I would also like to talk about the hierarchy. I think this I have written it the reverse way. The first is a functional role, because you join as an engineer, fresh engineer, graduate engineer, management training. So you are a fresh engineer, but that is the first role. But if you only join with a diploma, then you will be even like assistant engineer, junior engineer, that kind of it. But graduate engineers, they have a better advantage right from joining itself. Okay. Then if you want to by virtue of your experience, as I was telling, 5 years and all, if you work, then you go to the middle management level, and ultimately you can take up corporate roles as heads of the departments, uh, like only in case you improve your knowledge around 10 to 15 years of standing, and some people even take up some short-term management courses to climb up this hierarchy. So mechanical engineers basically should have interest to work with people. Then they should be interested to work with ideas. Like I was telling now, ventilator. India was running short of ventilators. So lot of people, they have ventured into this idea of manufacturing ventilators. Then you should be interested to work with data, because that is the new normal. Then based on the data only companies make inferences. Then you should also have knowledge about economics. I think this managerial economics is taught as a subject, as a course in mechanical engineering, management and economics. So you need to focus on your subjects well. And you should be interested to work with problems, not run away from the problem. So you should sit along and try to work on a problem. And you should be interested in technology, because technology is not stagnant. Again, technology is growing exponentially. Then during this lockdown, I think we don't know how long it will continue. We only pray God that this is reduced or minimized in this year itself. But you still feel that a lot of people are working for home, and some people, like students, they have some spare time. So my sincere suggestion to you will be, you please update your CV. Okay, and to that you need to improve your skills. You can learn a foreign language. You can do some freelancing assignments. Then you can check up websites to learn about the institutions, career opportunities. Then you can also do some internships, and you can reach out to companies, and lot of courses now, what they call as MOOC, massive online open courses, are available. Some of them are free also on Coursera, Swayam, Udemy, edX. So you please improve your knowledge and add value to yourself, learning on a day-to-day basis. So now let us look at some 3-4 domains, and to start with that, alphabetically, aerospace is this first one. So as you know, air travel is the safest mode of travel, and this aviation industry has grown exponentially in India, uh, and 90% of the engineers working in aerospace are mechanical engineers. I am abbreviating that ME as mechanical engineers. And even the aerostructural design, 70% of engineers are mechanical engineers. These statistics are given by the experts from this field. Okay, and then they do a lot of they work on stress analysis. There is a work on design, even materials. What I was telling, like composite, metal matrix composites and all, because we in this aviation sector, we want the material to be light as possible, but as strong as possible. So this is not possible with conventional materials, and that is why composites like carbon fiber, this metal matrix composites are very popular. Then you have got something called design In aerospace, there is something concept called design, conception, and manufacturing. So when we make designs, these are basically theoretical designs. But when you want to manufacture that product, there is a lot of gap between the design and the manufacturing, and this gap between the design and the manufacturing is called as conception. And here engineers play a big role. So aerospace requires a lot of mechanical engineers, and in aerospace, the term used is MRO. MRO stands for maintenance, repair, and overhaul. Okay, please appreciate that this maintenance, repair, and overhaul activity of all these aircrafts, engines like you know Rolls Royce makes this engines, aviation engine, then Lockheed Martin, they are all from basically Europe and US, and this our aircrafts go there for this major overhauls. So India with such a big, huge fleet of aircrafts, it's high time that we develop our own facilities for overhauls. So this area is also catching up. Okay, and aircraft has almost life of 30 to 50 years, and India has a basically a cost advantage of manpower, even space. So I think this is a area which is likely to grow in the years to come. And please understand, if you get into some stream, say you study diploma, you study engineering, so after 3 years or 4 years you are passing out and coming out as an engineer. So whatever is the trend of 2020, it is not the same what you expect in 2024 or 2025 when you pass out. So you have to look into the future. Okay, after 3 4 years, what will be the trending requirements or skills required, and accordingly you have to equip yourself. You cannot look at today's trend and forecast it. Secondly, HAL, in aerospace, HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited at Bangalore. I think a lot of things they are doing. I'll just sum up here. Like they have a scheme called Management Apprenticeship Training, and even you can undergo 1 year training, and there, if there are opportunities, you can join, or else lot of industries will hire you. Bangalore basically is the mecca of aerospace in India. Lot of international OEMs are present there. OEMs, so original equipment manufacturers, are present there, and even design companies are present there. So HAL has got an academy, and this HAL Learning Academy, they provide certificate course in aerospace management. They even have a postgraduate diploma in management, around 15 months course. And now government of Karnataka, GOK, uh, has started that aerospace skill center. And one center what I know is this our VTU, in collaboration with Dassault Systems, a France-based company, and government of Karnataka, they have got a center for advanced uh, aerospace and defense, which they provide a lot of trainings. So these opportunities are available for graduate engineers to learn the various skills required by the aviation industry. This automotive engineering, I think most of you are aware, like there is something called body in white, then CFD analysis engineers are there, robotics, then manufacturing of this automobile industries. I think you are. I think you should be knowing that India produces almost 25 lakhs of cars and uh, some crores of bikes every year. So that is the uh, potential. And maintenance of service, then a lot of sales. I was talking about sales again. Here also the sales have got engineers can do a good job in selling the new technology vehicles. Then again, all cars nowadays they don't come without air conditioning system. So this HVAC system is there, And there is an organization called SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers, and uh, Society of Engineers, Automotive Engineers. They conduct some annual events like SE Baha. BAGA is pronounced as Baha. So SAE Baha and Supra, some competitions for engineering graduates, students about this making of ATV and all. So here you can interact with many students. A big learning experience basically when they build a ATV. A lot of learnings, and they go to different places, and even some companies hire them like Mahindra and Mahindra. They watch, they scout for talents in these competitions, and they even hire them. Okay, automotive field is very common, and you are all aware. Now regarding software, in software also there is something called for mechanical engineers. 38% mechanical engineers are working in modeling software, and in the drafting around 27% of mechanical engineers are working in the drafting software industry, and 26% of mechanical engineers are working in the simulation software. So I just went through a webinar by Autodesk. He was telling the 1990 million, almost 9 crore uh, people are required. There is skill shortage. There is a lot of skill gap. Though the softwares are developed, but the people are not available, especially in the high-end software. Please understand, when I talk of software, I am not talking about uh, day-to-day usage like MS Office, PowerPoint. This I think we are all okay with that. But these are high-end softwares which are not available to a common man. They are licensed and very expensive. So learning this is a big challenge because it involves a lot of cost and time. Then the new this I think last you can see last 5 6 years there is a rough connections, like people are now talking of industry 4.0 or education 4.0, and here it is a connected world like augmented reality, virtual reality. A lot of engineers are required, and there is a AutoCAD also conducts some training, 4 weeks training on CAD and CAM, that is computer design and computer manufacturing. Then HVAC and C, HVAC and R basically, that is heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration. So this is a big industry basically, and mostly I'd like to talk to this about this hospitality industry, be it hotels, resorts, spa. So there is something called facility management. So they have got hot water boilers, they have got central air conditioning systems. So all these things have to be maintained by mechanical engineers. The figures are very mind blowing. 9.2% of the contribution to GDP of India, gross domestic product to India, is done by this HVAC industry. And I think in Goa, this is almost 25%. 25% of the contribution to Goa GDP is through hospitality industry. And the employment potential is almost 8%. I am talking about pan India. And in places like tourist places like Kerala, coastal areas, and Goa and all, this can go up to 15-20%. So huge potential for mechanical engineers in the field of HVAC and R. Here also you can be like designing, conceptual design can be undertaking. You will be in the manufacturing, the production field, manufacturing, quality assurance. Quality assurance means we check whether what the product is okay or not. It is meeting the defined standards or not. Okay, then installation and maintenance. I think when you buy a centralized AC, then you have to design the ducts, and it has to be properly air handling units, chillers, cooling towers. This have to be properly installed, and even maintenance, like periodical maintenance, say 6 months, 1 year maintenance. Then you sales and marketing is very important, because you are not we mechanical engineers need to pitch Baba, these are the new technologies and cost effectiveness, like environmental concerns. When you are able to pitch to the consumers, then they'll appreciate that, because consumer is person who's involved in his business. He is not knowing all these things. I can just give one example for this sales pitching, like medical representatives. I think I have seen medical representatives. They carry a bag and they meet all the doctors. Every day they meet few doctors and they educate them on the new developments in the field of medical engineering. Similarly, mechanical engineers, so many developments have happened and people are not aware. They are only going through some TV ads or some print media ads. But real education to the stakeholders is not there. I personally feel sales and marketing can be a big domain for mechanical engineers. And after sales, service, that is there. And mechanical engineering, I think lastly to conclude, is a master of engineering. It is a multidisciplinary work, as you have seen. The opportunity never stops. You can see the gears keep rolling and you keep moving. People should be very passionate people here. They look into projects, they look into operations. They do lot of versatile activities. They are very adaptable and continuously they keep learning. And any product what you see, whether it is a laptop, especially moving items, whatever you see, are made by mechanical engineers. The machines which manufacture them are made by mechanical engineers. And they are not only securing the society, but mechanical engineers are serving the mankind. So this is how we have seen the growth of transport industry, communication industry, education industry. All these technologies are because of mechanical engineers. And now there are some specialized training. Some people may say, after mechanical engineering, what are the trainings available? I jotted down again some 5 training. One is MEP, that is mechanical, electrical, plumbing. This involves HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning. Electrical involves electrical as well as security systems and this CCTV camera. And plumbing involves plumbing as well as firefighting. So in a high-rise building, big hotel, hospital, malls, these are all required. Then one more training is the non-destructive testing. You got 3 levels of NDT, level 1, 2, 3 and all. Mechanical engineers are gaining a lot of importance in this NDT. Then software industry we have already discussed. There is one more domain called as GD&T. This is geometrical design and tolerancing. So GD&T is a good field in manufacturing industry especially. And Six Sigma stands for like TQM, part of TQM, the process improvement, so that the rejections are low. Out of almost 1 million opportunities, only 3 to 4 failures should happen. So highly reducing the wastages. So 6 more trainings are available. And the top employers, lastly, I would like to say, like software is the industry, railways, automotive industry, marine engineering, HVAC, education, retail, supply chain management, banks, finance, insurance, transport, and manufacturing. So, dear students, I thank you for the patient listening. You enjoy your learning, have a happy learning and a great career ahead. Any further details you require, please mail me at mane.suresh1304 at gmail.com. Have a great day. Thank you.